How we doing? All right, so I get a few minutes with you guys this morning, and as Neil and I were talking, as he said, I know there's a lot of people in a lot of different areas of business here, but I'm really here to talk to you about how you take it to the next level. Because I come from a place, as far as business is concerned, and hopefully where all of you are, where you can kind of summarize your journey in one phrase. I didn't come this far to fucking come this far. I'm not done. I'm 56, but I'm just getting started, baby. And hopefully every one of you feel the exact same way, right? Now, what I'm going to kind of walk you guys through so you understand kind of where we're going. I'm going to share a couple stories with you, maybe 2 or 3, give you a couple exercises I think will be really impactful, and maybe walk out of here with 4 or 5 things that I think you need to focus on. For those of you who don't know anything about me, which I'm assuming is most, as Neil said, I run a lot of different real estate related businesses. I actually got started in business when I was 17 years old. So I've been 150% unemployable since 17. My 20s were probably a little different than most because the business I started when I was 17, by the time it was 30, was doing $1.8 billion a year. 7th largest privately held company in the state of Florida. So thank God social media did not exist when I was in my 20s, because I 100%, without question, would have been the douchebag we all make fun of, sitting on front of the cars like, look at all the cool shit I got. I had all the cool shit, I just didn't have a place to advertise it. I lived on the intercoastal down in Boca Raton, Florida. I started this business in Memphis, Tennessee, while I was in high school, basically buying and selling, flipping truckloads of groceries. So I would sit there and, this is all pre-internet. So I would find where a manufacturer was selling something at one discount. Oh, okay. We found it. Ah, look at us. Okay. We found, I would find truckloads of groceries where a manufacturer would sell it at a discount, and then I would go and buy that, and I would go flip it to somebody else. I never made one thing. I was just a kind of middleman, just a very entrepreneurial guy. And before I knew it, it turned into a really, really big business. And I was that guy, in full transparency, that all of my success was because of me. All you had to do was ask me. I was all too happy to tell you how badass I was. But as business would have it, or as life would kind of serve it up to you, I should say, I got humbled. I got knocked down, and I got knocked down in a big way. Let me just kind of get caught up here. All right, that's me with my daughter right there. Yes, I'm a 56-year-old man that skateboards to the office every day. What I want you to realize is that we're all on a journey, and whatever your idea of success looks like, it's yours. Mine, after I had lost everything and kind of built it all back, I decided that I would move to La Jolla, California, right down the street here, which is my version of paradise. And I would walk to the office every day. I would walk to the beach every day. I would skateboard where I wanted. I don't give a shit. It's my version, right? My question to you would be, what's yours? Because I will tell you, one of the things, if you want to be very successful, write this down. Start with a destination. Right now, today. You see, when you were asked to come to the Pendry Hotel, you were told this event is going to take place. For most of you that aren't in town, when you landed at the airport, you plugged into an Uber app, a Lyft app, or in your rent-a-car, and said, take me to this location, the Pendry Hotel. We all agree? Yes? Your big idea of how you would find the Pendry Hotel was not that I'm just going to drive around and look for the Pendry on the outside of a building. If that was your idea of how to get here, good luck, right? Why did you do that? Why did you put it in the app? Take me to the destination. I know where I'm at. I'm sitting at the airport. Take me to the destination as fast as humanly possible. I don't want to waste time. For all the men in the room, how many of you are married? Let me see your hands. Okay, so we all have this common circumstance that happens to us. Our wives say, hey, honey, can you pick up something on the way home from work at the grocery store? Does the conversation stop right there? Right? I mean, if it's anything like me, it is, babe, tell me exactly what we need. Well, can you get some milk? Okay, you misunderstood what I said. Last time I checked, there's about 20 versions of milk now. Every fucking nut on the planet is a milk. Okay? Can you take a picture of the milk and text it to me, and then I will get the milk? Why do we do, my big plan when my wife says, can you get a few things, is not, do I go to the grocery store and walk up and down the aisle, I'm going to take a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and come home, come into the kitchen counter, lay it all on the counter. Is any of this the shit you wanted? Right? There's no way I would ever do that. But I want you to be very clear. Everybody in this room, I've been doing this a long time, it's exactly what you're doing with your life and with your business. I'm going to take a little bit of this. I'm going to attend this event. I'm going to go to this webinar. I'm going to go to this thing. I'm going to take this thing. And eventually, I guess I'll just figure out what success is. Take it from me. It doesn't work that way. You might become successful, but the one thing that I promise you will value the most is time. The older you get. I just want to get the result faster. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. So, how do I get there faster? I start with a destination. We know where we are. The very first thing I would share with you, not on any slides, is define with your husband, with your wife, with your team. What does success look like? Where are you actually trying to go? What do you want to spend your days doing? And I am proof. I'm a redneck from Dallas, Texas, guys. I am not very bright, I promise you. But it is amazing that when I sat down and said, I will live in La Jolla, California. I will live directly on the ocean. I will wake up and the Pacific Ocean will be my backyard. I will walk to the office. I mean, in Dallas, Texas, everything's a suburb. You don't walk anywhere, right? But I will walk to the office. I will walk to the restaurants, the bars, the gym, everything. I want a quality of life that I am more than willing to pay the price to get to, and I want to get there quickly. Then, reverse engineering. Now, what do I have to do? Step by step, just like your GPS, turn-by-turn directions. Do you know what your GPS is? You're sitting in it. When you clearly define where you're going, you've got an entire community here of really smart people that will give you the turn-by-turn directions, the accountability. You're off track, you're on track. Get here, make this connection, do whatever you need to do to get there. Does that make sense? That's how this happens, I promise you. I have built dozens of 7, 8, 9, 10-year, bless you, whoever that was, 10-figure businesses, right? I run one of the largest, most exclusive masterminds in the country called the Boardroom Mastermind. It is filled with 7, 8, 9, 10-figure businesses. I can tell you, I know what I'm talking about, and that is my point today. I just want to try to give you a few things, and when you walk out of here, you're really, really impacted by what you need to do next. So, with all that, I can tell you that, as I said, I built a very, very large company. Thought I had it all figured out, but on March 14th, 2000, that changed. My company had been purchased by a much larger competitor. I owned less than 5% of my company. I'd sold it. But I was still running. I'm still the guy running the whole thing. A much larger competitor bought me, incorporated us, moved me down to Boca Raton, Florida. Now I'm running a $2 billion a year company. By the way, 29 years old. And at that point, that morning, I had my briefcase over my shoulder, walked in and said, guys, the two guys that owned it, I said, we just crushed it this year. I made $5 million. You two guys each put it in your pockets after taxes, each put in your pockets $55 million. How about you give me a little bit of my equity back? And I guess they thought I was joking. It's 7:30. I'm walking to my office, and the guy's like, dude, you kidding? It's never going to happen. And I told you guys I was cocky. It just hit me wrong. I had never thought about leaving. I had built my lifetime building this, but it hit me the wrong place, wrong time, wrong moment. I was like, really? That's how you feel? Screw you guys, I'm out of here. And walked out. Thinking I was going to go start it all over the next day, and I would have it all back. Little did I know I would spend the next 22 months losing every single dollar I had ever built. Every one. Millions of dollars in the bank. Went and started a competitor very quickly. By the way, not a great idea, because I started trying to pirate all those employees, pirate all their customers, go to war. They had lots more zeros in their bank account than I did. I had too much pride to admit that I was in a losing battle. And so over 22 months, very valuable lessons. A lot of times when you get into lawsuits, it is not about winning or losing. It is about who's going to scream uncle first, who's going to get bled to death. And I was the one that got bled to death and was too dumb to see any of it. By the time we got down to it, I had $4,000 in my bank account. 4,000 from several million. To say that that was humbling would be putting it very mildly. A more honest way of putting it would be I was crushed, I was devastated, and I was suicidal. Those are the facts. I had never fallen like that. I'd never even experienced failure at any level. And if you'd ever told me at that moment that I would look back on that as one of the greatest things that ever happened to me, I would have told you you're crazy. But when I was in it, it was devastating. Now that I'm 2 decades from it, I'm like, thank God that happened. I needed to be humbled. It was extremely, extremely impactful in my life. There's a few lessons that I would tell you, encourage you to write down, each one of these. The first lesson I learned there was build and scale a business for the right reasons. Not the fame, not the accolades, not even the fortune. Do it so that you can control time. You see, I was the guy that got to the office at 5 o'clock in the morning, did not leave until 8 o'clock at night, and would sit there, and there are a lot of men in this room that will identify with this. Nobody's going to outwork me. Nobody. I'll outwork everybody here. Well, what about your family? Oh, I'm doing it for them. I got news for you. That is total bullshit. That is what we tell ourselves as men to justify mediocrity. Absolutely not. You see, when you're on your deathbed, I can assure you, your kids are not going to say, man, I just wish mom or dad spent more time at the office. But they will almost certainly say, I wish I had more time with mom or dad. Time is what you're really after. The fame, the fortune, everything else, if you build a business that is designed from the very beginning to create time for you, I promise you it'll be a version of success that you can't even imagine. You see, I don't scale businesses to be bigger. Write this down. I scale them to escape them. There is nothing noble about being an overpaid hustler. You can use whatever word you want. There's a lot of stuff on social media. Oh, I'm the hustler. When I see that, I'm like, congratulations, bitch. Right? Who wants to be that guy? I want to be the CEO of business and life. I want to control my time. I want to get paid whether I show up or not. I want to put myself in a position where I get to do things. I don't have to do anything. That is freedom. So the destination starts there. I want to own a business that I get to do things. I don't have to do things, and I get to control my time. Whatever I do with it is up to me. Bigger lesson, discipline and intentionality are a superpower. Mediocrity is the enemy. You'd be shocked. The world is filled with mediocrity. I say it all the time. You can count on your competition's mediocrity. 1/3 1,000%. The little things add up. Being consistent. Neil talks about it. Posting every day, doing these things. Do you understand how many people hear that message and it falls on deaf ears? There's no big magic pill here. It's being consistent, being intentional, being diligent. Just do the work. And when you do it, you get the outcome. The moment you don't want to do it, that's the day you actually have to do it. That's how you win, big time. Biggest lesson, be bold. I have never met a successful person, including myself, that does not have fear. A lot of people project it. We go in these rooms, I'm very good friends with guys like Ed Milet and Jesse Itzler, and I'm very fortunate to call them very, very close friends of mine. And it isn't that we don't have fear. We don't have a fear of failure. We have a fear of regret. I can't imagine being on my deathbed and feeling for any moment that I left any potential out there. That would be devastating to me. If it's in you, it should come out of you. You have to be bold. There is so much to gain and nothing to lose. So, next, I will tell you that leverage, get over the feeling that you can't. If you're going to build a business, it's going to require people. It's going to require leverage. It's going to require people, money, systems, processes. You have to get in the business of understanding that leverage is everything. By the way, you may not even equate to it, but you are in this room right now trying to accomplish one thing. Leverage each other. What do you know that I don't? Is there a contact you have that I don't? Is there some strategy that's leverage, right? Getting there on your own, in your own little four walls, is not the way to get there. Anybody that tells you, I love it when people are self-made. There is nobody on this planet that is self-made. That is a fallacy. That is not true. Every single person who has accomplished something, they did it with leverage. They had people around them, processes, systems. That's how they got there. Now, you don't get there by sitting in a hole and trying to figure out, you can program all you want, you can do as much social media as you want. At the end of the day, you're going to need leverage. That's how the next level is created. So here's 2 quick exercises. I'm very focused, very intent on how do I get out of my own way every single day. Every one of you, how many of you, by show of hands, there is a little inner voice that creeps up, whether it's when you want to go, you're supposed to go work out. 5:30 a.m. clock goes off and you're like, ooh, rough night last night, not today. Or you got to go post on social, or you've got to go and make a new hire, or you got a new business idea that you've been thinking about for 6 months and you just haven't got it off the ground. That's what I call that little inner bitch, right? Back to what we do to justify mediocrity. I'm going to give you guys 2 quick things to try to quiet that voice. Is that okay? Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. Number 1, I want everybody to pull out your phone and open up the calculator app. If you're a woman, I want you to put in the number 82. If you're a man, I want you to put in the number 78. And I want you to subtract your current age. Now, clearly that is not why you needed the calculator app, okay? If you did, you're already screwed.
I did it.
Okay. So, as an example, on the board, man, 78, subtract your current age, 47, 31. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Multiply that times 365. Who's got a number for me? 10,585. Who's got another one? 15,000.
5,840.
Okay. What you have just calculated, I want you to write that number down. Statistically speaking, that is how many days you have left on this planet. But it gets better. Take that number, multiply it times 0.67. Because it's safe to assume you're going to be asleep for 8 hours. This is what you've got left, that your eyes will be open and you have the opportunity to experience this thing called life. Who's got a number for me? 8,000, what's it? 11? 5380, back here. Who's got one? 8,000? 6602. Can we all agree it doesn't matter what the number is? That number is way too small. Way too small. Now, if you want to be a savage and you want to understand how to get to the next level, then I want every single one of you, when you get home, to go buy a dry erase marker, like for a whiteboard. And then in your master bathroom, where you brush your teeth, put on your makeup, brush your hair, I want you to write that number when you get home. And when you wake up the next morning, you know what you get to do? Count that bitch down. I promise you, you want to quiet the little inner bitch voice? This is how you do it. Watch your life tick away, one day at a time. And you will quickly realize how precious this really is. Because here's the facts. That number is not make-believe. That number was true before you sat in that chair this morning. It will be true tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And unfortunately, for some of us, that number we won't ever even make it to that number. Others will go past it. But the point of it is you don't know. But we walk around like next week, next month, next quarter is somehow promised to us. And it is simply not. It is simply not. We are the chosen few. We have an opportunity. We are the ones that have dared to go out and start businesses. But it doesn't stop there. We have to be bold enough to go actually demonstrate what it looks like to realize the full potential of what we are actually capable of. Why? Because it is doable. There are real victims in the world, guys. I've spent a ton of time in Haiti. Built an entire village for 60 families down in Haiti, right? Same in Nicaragua. I have seen real victims. I have watched a mother of a newborn baby that is still attached to her chest walking down the street in Haiti and go over into a drainage ditch and take the water runoff of the road that we would drive by every day and drink it with a baby right here. There are real victims in the world. Do you know who are not? Not us. We get to do this. So if we're going to do it, let's start with a destination and be as bold as we can to make it everything we're capable of doing. Not because we're trying to scale it to make it bigger, but we want to control every one of those days. If you knew you could go and invest 1,000 days, 3 years of your life right now, if I just went as hard as I can, I laid out exactly where I want to be in 3 years. I will be as bold as I've got to be. I'll go as hard as I need to go. If you knew you could do that, and on the other side of it, you could live the remaining 6,500 days any way you want, would you do it? Hell yeah. Absolutely. I get to live my last 6,500 days any way I want to live them. And all I got to do is be super disciplined, be the best version of myself for 3 years. You realize how fast 3 years has gone? By the way, COVID, guys, was 6 years ago. That seem like yesterday? Yeah. March 19th, it'll be 6 years. Right? How fast you think 3 years goes? Real fast. This is right around the corner. This is not challenging. And then, what if it only took 1? What if you're such a badass that it only took 365 days? Then would you do it? Of course you would. That's what is being offered to you. That is what life is for every one of us. There's no guarantees. But if you know that's what you would do, then approach life like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Like, don't give yourself the option of, well, maybe next year, maybe next month, maybe next week. No, now. This is the only thing that is promised to you, this moment. There were 10,000 people that did not wake up this morning in the United States. 10,000. There are 975,000 people today sitting in a hospital bed in the United States. You think they would trade places with you or I in a second? Absolutely. This is a gift. So act like it's a gift. And you'll be shocked at how that inner voice is going on in your head stops. The next thing I would tell you to do, it's not up there, but if you really want to make it stop right now, you're going through it. Dealing with some challenges. How many of you have ever dealt with challenges in life? All right. I'll tell you how you got that goes away real quick. Write this down. Thank God for my problems. Thank God for my problems. Because you know what you're not doing? Drinking out of a drainage ditch. You know what you're not doing? A lot of things that real victims are. What you do get to do is solve real shit so you can make a lot of money. That's a gift. It's not cupcakes and rainbows and sunshine, but it is a gift. I get to solve $1 million problems. Yeah, I created them, but I get it. Right? I'd walk away at any time. This is a gift. The reframe is very powerful. And that's the reason I'm stressing it to you. Because we think there's some magic elixir. No, it is just looking at something. Many people look at something as an obstacle, but the ones that win look at it as an opportunity. Same situation. One's looking at it like, how do I get over it? The other's looking at it, man, I'm going to be so much better when I'm on the other side of this. Who do you think wins? Right? I'll give you a massive reframe. If I told Neil I wanted to become an MMA fighter, not only an MMA fighter, I want to become the MMA champion of the world right now. Today, by the way, I've never even been in a ring. First off, he would say, you've lost your mind. But one thing's for sure, if I wanted that to happen, I got to get in the ring, right? And if I got to get in the ring, I'm going to get coaches, but now, if I'm going into that ring and I know I'm going to get coming in there and just to become the champion of the world. I'm not talking about becoming mediocre at it. I want to be the champion. When I step in the ring and I have an opponent on the other side, what is for sure getting ready to go down? I'm about to get my ass whipped. I'm going to get choked out, broken bones, bloody nose, black eyes. It's all going to happen. Can we agree? But if I know that going in, and I know that's the only way I can become, because for sure, I'm not going to become a champion by saying, well, dude, I've watched all the YouTube videos. I've never missed a UFC fight. I've listened to every Joe Rogan podcast. I think I'm ready, right? Nobody gets there that way. You have to get in the ring. And by virtue of getting in the ring, you are for sure going to get beat up. But then you're going to go back to the corner. Coaches are going to say, this is what you did wrong. Let's watch some film. I'm going to put you right back out. And you're probably going to have to do that tens of thousands of times. But it's the journey. And then one day you might get the chance to be a champion. Once. But if you know that's the only way, then you welcome the hits. Does that make sense? Because every time I'm getting hit, I know I'm getting better. Business is the same way. Approach it like, I know I'm going to be a champion. Bring the hits on. It's an opportunity to get better. You can look at an opportunity or you can look at it as an obstacle. I don't care. But I can tell you the ones that win are the ones that view it as an opportunity. And they want to get there faster because time is not on their side. So what they're saying is, hit me more. Hit me more often. I need to get back in there as fast as I can. That kind of mentality changes everything. Now, another hack I will give you as it relates to building a very successful business in a hurry. Success being defined as, I own my time. I want you to everybody write down the number 168. You don't have to do this now, but I would encourage you to do it when you get home. A lot of people struggle with, I tell them to create a destination. Okay. This is a very simple way to get there. If you got the best news or the worst news of your life today, meaning a doctor tells you you are going to die in 7 days. You have 168 hours to live. Now, it's pretty clear why it's the worst news. But it's also the best news because at least you know. Do you know how many people don't actually get that gift? Most. It's sudden, it's instant, and it's over. But if you knew you had 7 days, my question to you, and I would tell you to write this down when you get home, is what would you do next? Who would you call? What are the moments you would create? Who are the people that you would make sure they knew they had an impact? What are the videos you would create to leave a legacy of your core values and things that mattered most to you to your kids or to your grandkids that aren't even born yet, or your great, like, I have an entire YouTube channel that is all private, that is there for my heirs. That in order to get to my estate, my heirs must watch all these videos. You're going to know what I did, bitch. Right? Does that make sense? Like, this is what I stand for. This is what I stand against. This is the price I paid. This is what matters most to me. You're not going to read about this in a book. You're going to hear it right from me. Now, think about what you would do in those last 168. And my point to be is that design a business that allows you to live like it is your last 168 always. Because that's what really matters to you. Oh, I'd take my kids on vacation. We would go to Disney World. We would do this. We would create all these special moments. Then create a business that allows that option to you always. Where you can just do whatever you want to do. That's success to you. That really is. Because I can promise you, anything that matters to you right now, if you got this news of the last 168, it would all evaporate. All the nonsense we all carry around, the baggage, I don't want to put this video up because people are going to make fun of me. You wouldn't give a shit about any of that. It would be done. I don't care. Right? So, that's freedom. Start there. Back into it. That's a great place to start with a destination. But if I have a destination, I have a mastermind around me for my GPS, and I am making the most of time, the chances of me being successful are exponentially greater than anybody around me. It is a simple, not easy, simple switch to be a better version of yourself with a couple things like this. Time is all you're really going after. The money does nothing but buys you more time. Can we agree? Really think about it. What is it really getting you? If I have all the money in the world, what am I have time freedom. I can do anything I want to do. Outside of that, the money has no value. Take it from me. You get to a place where it doesn't matter about the cars. It doesn't matter about the houses. It's cool, but it never fills your cup up. What actually will fill your cup up is all the amazing moments and memories you're creating with people that matter. That's what really matters. Luckily, I got the chance to figure that out on the second ride up. After building lots of very successful businesses in this particular space, getting a second chance at this at 32 years old to start over and start from the ground up, but do it right. The second go around, figuring out that I'm getting newly married and had my son, 32 years old, thinks I was the greatest dad ever. I know I could have done better. I wasn't there. My two daughters, on the other hand, 20 and 12, I have been an unbelievably present father. Right there. Haven't missed one swinging thing because I did it differently. You can do this right now. But what you definitely don't want to do is probably what we're all guilty of doing is I'm just driving up and down the streets. I think I'll see the Pendry when I get it, or I'm just going to the store, buying a few things. I'm sure I'll know success. No, define it. This is what I'm building. This is what success looks like for me, and I'm in a real hurry to get there, period. Now, how did I get to a place to where I kind of think like this? One, I had a mentor in my life who was my uncle, who ran one of the largest cruise lines in the world, built it from the ground up, and I idolized him. And while I was in Boca Raton, he was in Fort Lauderdale, and I watched when he retired at 60. Mind you, I turned 56 last week. When he was 60 and I was 30, I thought that shit was ancient. It is not. I got news for you. That is not ancient. But I'll never forget, he retired, and they wrote him a $30 million check on the way out the door. And he spent most of his life away from his family, telling himself, when I get to this place, then I'm going to go. I'm going to experience it. And as fate would have it, within 6 months, got diagnosed with cancer. 6 months later, October 12th, I'll never forget it, my mother called me from Daytona Beach, Florida, and said, you need to come up here. Your Uncle John is asking for you. He's gone into the hospital with pneumonia, and he is going to die today. So I drove up the Florida Turnpike as fast as I could, which was about a 5-hour drive. Came in on 2 wheels into that hospital, running down the hallway, and this is a man that was 6'5", probably 260. I come in there, and he is in a bed, hooked up to a respirator because he can no longer breathe, maybe weighed 150 pounds. Basically looked like a bag of bones. And I was blown away by it. And I come in there, and he kind of lights up because he can see me, and he puts his hand out. I grab his hand, and he, point blank, wrote on this little white board, celebrate my life. And then he wrote on the board and said, I just wish I had more time. I'll never forget it. And then he died. Now, I know for a fact that he had at least $30 million in the bank, but probably had more. And it hit me like a freight train that all the money in the world, you would think $30 million can buy you just about anything you want when you're on your deathbed. Couldn't buy him one more day. You think this is about money. It ain't, baby. It's about time. But just in case I didn't get the message, fast forward about 7 months, and I happened to be on an airplane leaving an event like this, and I was flying home from Memphis, Tennessee, back down to where I lived in Boca Raton, flying into the West Palm Beach airport. And my wife and my 5-year-old daughter, I had flew into Memphis from another city, so they decided they wanted to see me, so they flew in from Florida. We met there, and then we were turning around flying home, connecting through Atlanta on Delta Airlines. We take off in Atlanta, and because we have booked 2 different itineraries, I'm in 19A, they are in 26E and F. Couldn't get our seats together. And so we're about midway through this flight, and I'm looking down at my computer, working away like I've done thousands of times, and suddenly get that real weird burnt, like electrical burning, like when you turn on the heat in your house for the first time. Everybody know what I'm talking about? Right. Something's weird, right? Get that smell. And I look up, and there is white smoke pouring from the front of the plane to the back. Like somebody just turned on like somebody was standing in first class with a fire extinguisher and pointing it towards the back of the plane. This wasn't kind of drifting through the air. This was coming down. Something you never want to see on an airplane. And all of a sudden, bump, 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 where your brain is just like, what is going on? And as fate would have it, that little bullshit they tell you, oh, in case of emergency, you guys, we're going to do this little thing right here. Okay. This was, ladies and gentlemen, we're on fire. Crew, return to your stations. Crew, return to your stations. This is some serious shit. Oh my God, what's going on? And then the plane goes into a nosedive. Now, I did not know this then. I know it now. That if they believe a plane is on fire, one of the first things they did, especially at 30,000 feet, they're trying to get it below 13,000 feet as fast as they can. I have checked. That little card that's right there, that shit is not on there. So this was all news to me and very scary. Because when that happens, now the mask drop, and everybody is screaming. Everybody is crying. Unfortunately, I get to hear one scream. I can see the top of her head just as clearly as today. I can see her top of her head in the middle seat. I can see my wife at the window. I can see us locking eyes and saying goodbye. And I can hear my young daughter screaming for daddy. Over and over and over again. Imagine that, guys. Your daughter screaming for you, and you can't save her. I can't do anything. It's the worst moment of my life. I was terrified, but to hear my daughter scream like that was gut-wrenching. And I hope I never have to experience anything like it again. It was bad. And we suddenly diverted the plane. The captain came on and said, we are going to make an emergency landing. They are diverting us to Tampa right now. And we are going to make a pass by the tower to see if our landing gear has come down. We don't know what's going on. Please put on your mask and listen to your crew as we tell you to brace for impact, brace for impact, brace for impact. We will say it 3 times. This is very real. This is no joke. I have a video that I carry around with me to this day, a selfie that I recorded to my son to let him know, 1, filming everything that was going on, and 2, letting him know that I was thinking about him in hopes that somebody would find my phone and give it to him. That if I ever find myself where I don't have a really good perspective, it takes about 3 seconds of that video, and I'm right back in that moment, because that's real. We live in a bunch of fantasyland bullshit day to day here. That's real when you're faced with your mortality. So I've used all that as a gift to remind myself of how fragile this really is. We think we have problems. No, you don't. You get to solve problems. Thank God these are your problems. Thank God you got up this morning and you get to go attack the world. Thank God you don't live in Haiti. Thank God you don't live in Nicaragua. Thank God you're in a room right now surrounded by people that care about you, want you to win, are building you up, and will do anything to help you. That is a gift. And anything looking at any other way is total bullshit. We get to do this. We get to demonstrate to our families what it looks like to fight for our dreams. No, it's not cupcakes and rainbows and sunshine, but think about what I'm showing my kids every day, what it looks like to win. To win. Not because I'm winning the big battle, but because I'm winning at life. Every day. That's a gift. Approach it that way. Harness that power every day. Now, clearly we landed, right? I'm here. We landed. The firemen pulled the fire trucks up. They came on, cleared us to come up to the gate. We're all hugging and crying and high-fiving. I mean, literally, the captain is a hero. He's just standing right there at the front as everybody's passing by. We're high-fiving this guy. I've never hugged my wife or my kids harder than I ever. Of course, we get out into the gate, and I hope nobody in here works for the airlines. But we've got the stereotypical gate agent out there. Hey, everybody. Heard we had a little problem. Now, maintenance is on there. They're checking for everything. We hope to get them off the plane here shortly. As soon as they give us the all clear, we're going to get you right back on that plane and get you down to West Palm. No, you're not. He gone. I've never rented a car so fast in my life. I drove from Tampa to West Palm Beach. Greatest drive of my life. My lady that was sitting next to my wife in the aisle jumped in the car with us. Could not tell you what she looks like. I know she didn't shut up the whole time we were talking. She could be in this room right now. I mean, I'd be like, it was the best drive of my life. 2.5 hours driving back across the state. And the moment of clarity that I had between those two events basically is why I ultimately moved to California. I lived on the beach in Florida, humidity, hurricanes, douchebag people. I was like, I don't want to be here. So I was like, what am I waiting for? I talk about this every day. What am I waiting for? My idea of perfection is not, I keep telling myself I have time. I don't. And I had moved inside of 30 days. Done. Packed that shit up, did not sell my house, literally left all my furniture in it, like rent that bitch furnished. I'm out. Let's go. And have never looked back, 13 years ago. I will tell you that time is not promised. You are much more powerful and much more bold than you think you are. Don't figure that shit out at 30,000 feet. Don't figure that out holding the hand of somebody you love and watching them die. Figure that out in this room today. You can do anything you're capable or you believe you are capable of doing. You just have to be bold enough and see that time is not on your side and go. And anytime you believe it's on your side, you walk into your master bathroom and look at that number and realize it's ticking away right now, every day. You take massive action on these things, put a plan in place, calculate your days, give yourself the tools to stop listening to that little voice that we all have and start taking control of that voice, and I promise you things will change dramatically. You won't even recognize yourself in 30 days. The things that you believe are problems, they're not. They're obstacles, but they're also opportunities. Now, as promised, I'll kind of give you a few things that I want you to think about. Again, acting like you have time is ridiculous. I would even argue irresponsible. Right? It is the greatest gift that's ever been given to me, is the reminder that I will die soon. Helps me to understand the only thing promised to me is this moment. This is it. Right now. Yesterday, I don't know, in the history of the world, I've never met anybody that has been able to change the past. Right? And I have never met anybody who has effectively been able to live in the future. And last time I checked, in the history of the world, nobody's gotten out alive. So this is it. And if you look at how much baggage we carry around, I promise you, if you look about how much baggage you carry around, you will find that you're only focused on one of two things. Either the past or your future. That's it. That if you just focused on this moment, have anybody ever seen those movies where they have the doors and all of a sudden, like the Titanic, the boat is sinking. Oh my God, and you see them running through the ship and all of a sudden they turn around and they pull that big steel door shut and they spin that wheel. You guys know what I'm talking about? And depending on the movie, there's always some guy on the other side like, oh my God, no, you're right? Okay, we've all seen this, right? And then they go to the other side and they pull the door and do you guys realize those things are real? Those really exist on ships. They really exist on submarines. Do you know what purpose they have? You form an airtight, watertight compartment, and clearly, the water's not here, right? So now I have a chance of living. I have a chance of creating buoyancy where the thing may not sink. Does that make sense? Okay. I want you to think about that when you're running around and you're carrying all this weight on you. Oh my God, life's so heavy. Life's so heavy. Okay. The past is up there. The future is there. You step through the door, you spin the wheel. You step through the door. If I leave the door open on my past, all that water, all those water, they flood into the present. Now what just happened? My present's filling up, flooding. Shut that shit off. It is over. I can't do anything about it. Why would I let it flood my present? Oh my God, what's going to happen if? That's the future. Shut that off You cannot flood the present with your past and with your future. The time is now. This is it. This is all I got. I got to keep this strong so that I can be the best version of myself every single day. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. All right. Go to where I wanted to get here. I got to move quicker than I normally would. Here we go. I told you guys I'd give you a few little tips here. Kind of reiterate them, and then I'll get out of the way. Tip number 1, watch your life tick away one day at a time. We've talked about this over and over. Own your outcome for the day. Act like it's all I've got. You string those together over and over and over, business and professionally and personally, really hard to argue that that's not a really successful life. Period. Tip number 2, remember, it is always about buying your time back. I can't afford to hire that person. Bitch, you can't afford not to. I'll give you the greatest example ever of this. Go back to the 168 hours. You got 168 hours left, and I pick up the phone and I call you. What's your name? Jeremy. I call you and I'm like, Jeremy, man, I really love what you've done in life. I know you've only got 168 hours left. I want to buy 10. Say that again? Not for sale. Too precious. Can we all agree? I'm not selling my last. Are you kidding me? I got to spend this with my family. I'm not selling those. We all agree that those hours are the most precious thing we've got. So as far as I'm concerned, if I can buy any hour for anything less than not for sale, that's a fucking bargain. Oh, I can buy an hour of my wife's time back while she got somebody to come and watch the kids, or got somebody to clean the house, or got somebody to make our meals. The way I view life is I'm buying my hours back for something less than priceless. Every one of them I can afford. I can give somebody $25 to go do something inside the business, so I get that hour and I can go watch my little girl's dance recital. Yeah, does that sound like a bargain? Viewing it any other way is a trap. You are here to buy your time back. And if you want to become a great leader of people, a great business leader of people, your number one job in everything you do is fire yourself as often as you can. I want to get to do things. Don't kid yourself. I'm very involved in all my businesses. I don't have to be, though. There's a difference. I do it because I love dabbling. Oh, I want to kind of get in on the marketing, or I want to get in on this, or hey, put me on a call, or whatever the case may be. I don't have to do any of it. It will change nothing about the financial outcome. I get to do those. So ask yourself, what am I doing that I have to do because nobody else in my business can do it? That's your first task. That's step number 1. Get it off your plate. And I'm not talking about like ripping a Band-Aid. I'm talking about create a process where that becomes a reality. Tip number 3. Exactly what I told you earlier. You must start with a destination. Stop being passive. Define it. This is what I want 3 years from now. This is exactly where I want to be. 3 years from now is 36 months. It is 12 quarters, 12 90-day periods away. Break it down into 12 90-day periods. This is what I'm going to do. 12 steps that will get me where I need to get there. Each 90 days, I'm committing I will get one of those steps done. I will hire this person. I will do this, whatever it is. 12 90-day steps, and you will get there. And be disciplined enough. But you will not if you don't clearly define it. And I've coached some of the top CEOs across this industry, and I can tell you not one of them knew where they wanted to be in 3 years. Not one. So you are not alone. Everybody suffers from this. The moment you get clear, break it down to those 12 steps, is the moment it starts to become a reality. Tip number 4. We talked about this. Be bold. Fear regret more than failure. Imagine being in your hospital bed like my Uncle John. all that money and then having to say, I just wish I had more time. That is nothing but regret. Nothing but regret. He would have given every dollar back to go back in time and do it all different. The money had no value to him in the end. All that time he spent away from his 2 boys. Didn't even see them. He would have changed it all for that. That is not a successful life. By every measure from the outside, everybody's like, oh man, that guy was really successful. CEO, crushed it, making millions of dollars, traveling the world by his own admission. When he was there, I would have never done any of it. I would have taken a $100,000, $200,000 job and been there for my kids the whole time. That is regret. And we all get to control that every day. I'm never going to leave it on the field. I'm going to go get everything I can. Not because any financial thing. I just want the time. I want the moments. I'm not in the business of collecting, I was when I was a kid, cars and watches. I don't collect shit anymore. I collect memories. And I want them all. Every minute. Give them all to me because nobody can ever take that away from me. And I learned just how fast all the other shit can get taken away from you. No more. Tip number 5. There's a lot of elegance in simplicity. One of the ways we stay trapped is we make it really complicated. Your job is to find the fastest path and just get there. Attack it like your life depends on it, because it does. Tip number 6, stop listening to broke-ass people. Every one of you, or a lot of you, when you said you were going to another mastermind, you had somebody in your life like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? Those people mean well. You got to get them out of your life. These are your people now. Put yourself in rooms of people that build you up and make you better and hold you accountable. Take it very serious. Broke-ass people they all have an opinion, unfortunately. But if you're not in a room where the people around you inspire you and are willing to lift you up and they will hold you accountable, you're in the wrong room. If you're sitting at a table and you got 5 dipshits sitting around, you're like, God, man, these guys are all losers. Guess who's number 6, bitch? You're there, right? Be accountable. You can be better. The world is trying constantly with the news and media and friends and everything around it, trying to just beat us down. This is the most powerful thing you've got. You control it and input, you can move mountains. Tip number 7, proximity is power. It goes right what we're talking about. You're doing it right now. Don't ever stop. Like I said, I run a mastermind. I know the power of a room like this. Don't ever stop. Proximity to really, really successful people will always be a hack. It's like a cheat code to getting there. How many of you believe that if you got the opportunity to spend more time, how many of you are just better the more time you spend around Neil? Give him a hell yeah. Right? That's what I'm talking about. That's how it actually happens. When you get around people where they don't accept mediocrity, you will rise to the occasion. But it takes discipline to do that. Like I would tell you, how many of you, I'm about to be done, when I'm in a hurry. I don't know if you guys realize this, but there's last time you've been to Disney, they have the fast pass, but then they have this super exclusive VIP thing. Oh God. It is the greatest thing in the world. I mean, you talk about a hero. I am a hero to my little girls, right? It ain't cheap, but last time I checked, I didn't come to Disney to wait in 7 hours of lines. Now, I get that a lot of people have to do that. But if I can pay a price and literally go ride every single ride, they literally called Mickey Mouse off break to come meet my kid. I was like, please film all this. Like, this is awesome, right? He's back there having a cup of coffee and like, nope, get him out here. You do kind of feel a little bit like a douchebag. You've got this happened to me. Space Mountain, these people have been in line for 3 hours. And then this guy's got his son up there, and he has been waiting to get, they are in the first car. And he is waiting, and they have been waiting. This has been going on for a long time. And they just zip us right up to the back. Like we're going through this secret entrance, and just take us right up here. And this guy's sitting right, the car comes in. He's like ready to go, and they're like, stop. Go ahead. And you sit down, and you're like, sorry, dude, man. See ya. But if you have a way to get a result faster, remember, it's about time. It's about collecting the moments. Do it. Don't go through brain damage just for the sake of, don't be, oh, you know what, my whole experience is I just want to wait in line for 3 hours. Does anybody ever actually say that? If they had the means, they would do it. And that's us. If you have the means for a fast pass to get there faster, then you owe it to yourself because of time, get there. There is no nobility in going slow. I can tell you, in all my years in business, 38 of them now, I would leave you with this. Prepare for the fight. Look forward for the fight. It is what all the good stuff is about. Position it where this is an opportunity. This is making me better. Take it on. Demonstrate that mentality it takes. Like, you want to be the very best. Not so that you get some accolade, because you know it's in you. Right? Like, what do I care? I get one shot at this thing. This is it. That's it. I got 5,000 days left, right? I'm going to make the most of them. The chances of me being remembered are next to nothing. But I tell you who will remember me, my kids, my friends, the network, and they're going to remember me for all the right reasons. I'm going to be memorable. I'm going to push. I'm going to demonstrate every day. Not just the ones I want to demonstrate, not just going to post on social media all the good shit. I'm going to show you when I'm struggling with it too and how to get through it. I am a warrior. And that's the mentality that will work every single time. This is your moment. Right now. Demonstrate it, because the time is now. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.